Hey guys, my name is Augustic. Welcome to our second C tutorial. Last time we downloaded our IDE and our compiler. Please check out that first video. And before we get started into our second video, I'd like to tell you guys to please check out the website. I have that on the screen and it's also in the description. We have a lot of cool resources on that website. Most of the things that I cover in this series is also on that website. There are a lot of resources, cool games, cool puzzles, crosswords, all those kind of things. If I don't go in depth enough in these tutorials, all the materials on that website, and you can use the videos just to supplement what you learn on that website. So today I'm going to show you guys the structure of a basic C program, and I'm going to show you the basics of code blocks. If you guys remember, last time we left off pretty much at this screen of code blocks, and if you don't remember how to get here, I can show you really quickly. You can double click the program and that'll bring up code blocks. You can open existing projects. We double click our project file, and we're back to where we left off. If you didn't get that quite well or correctly last time, what we can do is create a new project, because we didn't change anything. Double click console or click go. Next, all of these video tutorials are going to be in C, not C++. These are two completely different languages. They're similar, but they're different. So click C, title your project whatever you want, click next, and click finished. And you'll be exactly where we left off. So here we have our simple program. And to begin with every program, well, let me back up. This is called a boilerplate because every C program that you write is going to start like this. So to begin with, we have our preprocessor statements. These two lines are our preprocessor statements. Basically, these two lines are saying, hey, compiler, or hey, code blocks, go and find these two files. We have stdio.h and stdlib.h. These are libraries, and basically we need these libraries because they have things that we're going to be using in our programs, and we're going to need our programs to do certain things, and these libraries make it so that our programs can do them. They basically are toolboxes full of things that we can use. For example, this is our standard input-output library, and if we want to print things to the screen, or if we want to get information from the keyboard from the user, we need this library. So those are preprocessor statements. Secondly, we have our main function, which is int space main empty parentheses, and then we have an open bracket followed by a closed bracket with code inside. We need this. This is our main function. This basically says, or this basically lets the compiler know, hey, we've just included these libraries. Now continue on to our main function, right? So within our main function, we have things called statements, expressions, and comments. For this tutorial and for what code blocks supplied us with, all we have right here are statements. We don't have any expressions. Expressions would be something like x is equal to y plus 1 or something like that. We don't have any of those expressions right now. We don't need any. And we don't have any comments. Comments we'll get into later. But for right now, we do have two statements. We have a printf statement, which is basically saying, hey, print these words to the screen. We have the words hello world, and this, don't worry about that. But we're saying print these words to the screen, and after that we're saying return 0, meaning end our program, right? So those are the basics. We have the preprocessor statements, our main function, which is the main function for a reason. We can also have other functions, but that'll be later down the road. And then within our main function, we have statements, expressions, and comments. But here we just have statements. So those are the basics of a C program. And before we wrap this tutorial up, we're going to need to know the basics of code blocks. So here you see we have a lot of drop down menus, a lot of tools. It can get overwhelming, but for this tutorial and for now, all we need to know about are these here, these three buttons. So we have build, run, and then we have build and run. So an explanation of each of these. Build basically checks our program for errors. That's all it does, and it loads it into memory as well. So if we click build, we can see that this area down here gets populated with information, and we don't have any red, we don't have any errors. It actually says 0 errors. We're good to go and run our program. When you run, you see the words hello world come up. That's exactly what we told it to print. We told it to print this in the program, and that's fine. That's exactly what we see, right? So we don't have any errors. Notice if I come here and I type gibberish here and I execute the build, we get an error. We have to fix that. So don't type gibberish. Do not do what I just did, or you get an error. We build it again, and we click run, and we're back here. So basically, whenever we make changes to our program, or whenever we want to make sure that our program is fine and that we didn't introduce any new errors, any new kind of syntax errors, anything wrong with it, we click build. If it says we're up to date and we have no errors, that's great. That's what we're looking for. And then we click run so that we can actually see the code live and the user can interact with it if need be. And then we have build and run, which does both simultaneously. And that's pretty much it. Check out the next tutorial and we'll go more in depth, and we'll probably get into comments and maybe variables or whatnot. So stay tuned.